What it do, y'all? Bread Tuck Rob, Bread Tuck Gang Forever. I am Black Royalty. I just finished reading chapter 8 of the book Black American Money by Dr. Boyce Watkins. And the title of chapter 8 was Racism versus Racial Inequality. Now watch how he breaks it down. Dr. Boyce says that racism isn't the current problem. Isn't the current major problem. Where it is a problem, and this America was built through racism, because it also says that the United States was built on the backs of African Americans. Okay, racism is a part of this system called white supremacy that's been going on for years, for over 400 years now. Okay. And because of this system, the majority of your major companies, Hollywood, your universities are ran by white people. Okay? And racism, to a lot of the kids that are 20 something and all that, they see effects of racism and think that it's normal. And that's a problem. But racial inequality is the bigger problem. Let me read a quote to you. Oh, and Dr. Boyce also says that, okay, racism is the problem, but racism is the problem, but racial inequality is the problem. Now, what are we going to do about it? But before we can do anything about it, the people who are making this a problem, they have to know that it's a problem. Watch this. It goes without saying that a society cannot operate for 400 years with multiple tiers of racial separation and expect that these conditions are going to simply just disappear. Okay, y'all were slaves back then, but now we just gonna get better. Nah, fam, nah. And it's more to that. He gives another quote. Like any disease, because racism is a disease, like any disease, racism is only cured in a society through a conscious decision to make the patient better. So I have to let you know, or we have to let you know, hey, man, this system is built on racism. How can we make it better? And he says it also doesn't help that. And going back to what I said, when I said that a lot of the younger kids think that a lot of this stuff is normal, where's another quote? Okay, it's difficult to understand why there is no need to study Malcolm X in public schools beyond the simple stuff, yet I am forced to spend many days and hours memorizing Benjamin Franklin's every move. Much of this double standard is simply the result of the fact that African Americans to date have been the weaker party in racial negotiations. See, it's a lot of black people that don't even know their history, and it's a lot of black people who don't know anything but the basics about, Martin Luther King and Malcolm X, because in the textbooks, the heroes were the white people that were also doing bad. Now watch where it gets a little deeper. Okay? Dr. Boyce says that we were taught to, see Hitler as this bad guy, which is understandable. But we also, but in the textbooks, they're not teaching you all the bad that America did. That's a problem. Now let's get back to this racial inequality. Dr. Boyce gives the example. If a waste company takes their waste, their collected waste, and dumps it into the water, let me make sure I get the name of the people right. They take the waste and dump it into the water. The EPA, which is they take the waste and they dump it into the water for 400 months, just constantly just dumping this into the water. All kind of bacteria and all kinds of fungus, and all this is in the water because this has been going on for 400 months. Okay? And finally, the EPA, the Environmental Protection Agency, finally catches wind of this. And they're like, hey, man, what are you doing? This has been going on for 400 months. The waste company just can't be like, oh, I'm sorry. And that be the end of it. Nah, the EPA gonna be like, hold on, player, before you can do anything else, we have to resolve this. So we're gonna have to test this water. We're gonna have to, go through this strenuous testing and just different procedures of how we can make this water better. And then once this water is better, you gotta pay a fine, homie. But see, in America, we're just saying, oh, slavery was, years ago, let's just move on. And that's not healthy, fam. And because of the effects of racism and slavery and white supremacy, racial inequality is still going on. And like Dr. Boyce says, racism is the input. Racial inequality is the output. This is why you don't have, this is why we have to scream Black Lives Matter. Because the policemen with evil hearts killing these black people, that's what you call racial inequality, right? And those are the effects of racism from years back. What else? There's some good heat in here. Let me give you some more of this heat. It's something else I put notes by that I'm supposed to talk to y'all about. But it's some good stuff. Okay? Even good people who want to do the right thing are led to do the wrong thing because previous generations chose to create learning environments that only sell illusions about America's past. We tell every terrible story in the world about Hitler, which I spoke about, and proclaim him to be the devil for killing Jews, yet we do not mention the many millions killed during the great black Holocaust of the past 400 years. See, we're taught to think that, America's just great, let's everybody be patriotic. Now, what would be, and he also says, everybody wants America to be strong. Dr. Boyce says, what would make America strong? Confronting our problems, dealing with those problems, then moving on. But man, I'm gonna let y'all read that, man. Sorry if I'm all over the place. That's how I do. But Black American Money by Dr. Boyce Watkins, Chapter 8 was fire. Racism versus racial inequality, and I'm gonna get you Chapter 9 later. Y'all, mucho, take it easy. Bread to a gang forever. I'm Black Royalty.